Hello and welcome to Mad Hattie's podcast. We are located here in Jackson's Point, Ontario on the shores of Lake Simcoe. I'm Joanne, your host. Here today with me is Judy Weiser-Fletcher, a local artist. She teaches acrylic paint and pour night at Mad Hattie's. Welcome, Judy.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little about your history, how you got into painting?
I come from an arts background. And so I went all through art school. Then once I got out of school, I developed different interests, became a mom, dropped it for many years, and decided to just get back into it over the last, I'm going to say about 5 years now. And then I decided to build a business out of it, of teaching paint and selling my paintings. And it's just starting to take off, which is nice because you've got to follow your passion. And if you're actually making money through your passion, to me, that's not work. So, yeah.
Your family, there's artists in your family as well?
Yes, my dad was, when he was around, was a really good artist. So I think I picked up my talents from him, actually.
So what is it like seeing through the eyes of an artist?
I find I can pick up on emotion. I can pick up on stories. So when I'm painting, I'm sort of telling myself a story in my head, or that somebody else has told me. Good example is one of the paintings that I've done, which consists of some trees and some tornadoes, and it was a really silly dream that my daughter had. And so when she relayed it to me, I thought, I've got to paint that.
Wow. It must have been a really descriptive dream.
Yes.
Yeah. So what did it mean to you, this dream? Did it have a meaning to you?
It did, actually, because she told me that she saw the number 27 hanging from a tree.
Wow.
And I thought, that is so crazy, because all my life, the number 2 and 7 has played prominent in everything that I've ever done. And so that was sort of another thing for me to say, I got to paint this. So, yeah.
Can you tell us about the 2 and 7, or is that something you want to keep to yourself?
You know what? No, I can tell you, I'd have you here for an hour. So, but there are so many examples. And I've actually asked people, ask me anytime, and I'll give you like a ton of examples.
Yeah.
They're all good.
But just even one or two would be fun.
Okay, well, the first one is I have 2 girls. They were born 7 years apart.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. And my birthday's on the 27th. And
yeah,
so there's just so many examples. I mean, I'd have you here for an hour for sure.
And you have 27 in that painting, don't you?
Yes,
you do. Yeah. Art is the window to a person's soul. What does that mean to you?
I think it says a lot of who a person is and their emotions, or maybe what they're going through, or maybe what they've gone through, maybe what they want to see coming, something they want to manifest. So I think art is really based on emotions to me, for sure.
So like in being where they are in that moment too, in that part of their life maybe as well.
Yeah.
What they're drawn to,
yeah,
or what they're going to be drawn to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Is art a form of therapy to you? I imagine it would be.
Oh yeah. It's so relaxing. It's there's so many different things out there that we could attribute to being very therapeutic. And that's the one thing that I would see as being relaxing and, just throwing me into the Zen zone.
Being present.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you find there's certain colors you're more drawn to at different times? Like with therapy type aspect of it? Or?
Lately, I've actually been drawn to the neon colors. That's just lately. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that out of the norm for you?
Yes.
Wow. You're changing, you're metamorphosing.
I guess I am, yeah.
So what can we expect when we come and take this class?
Well, I like to throw something special into it so that it's not just your average paint class.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to include something in it that you're going to walk away with that you won't be able to get anywhere else. I'd like to sort of put as many techniques as I possibly can so that you're not just learning, sitting down and taking a brush. So the paint class that I have coming up is going to consist of brush techniques, sponging techniques, pouring techniques. So you're getting a whole bunch, you know, and I don't want to overwhelm people. Like when they walk in, they're going to say, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? No, it's really easy and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. What does pouring mean? You say paint and pour night.
Yeah.
So is there like something different about the pouring?
Yes. And that's something I've just learned lately myself. There's all kinds of different pour methods out there. And
like to me, it would be just dump.
Yes, and what you do is you mix a bunch of paints, and you can get, depending on what you also put into it, there can be silicone that's going to separate it. Once you pour it, you get a bunch of cells. You just get a bit different design. You get a different design. So the painting that I've got coming up gives me the opportunity to incorporate that into the painting. So it's really exciting. Yeah.
Well, that's actually a lot different from what I've ever heard of.
Okay.
You know, when I think of acrylic painting, you just go and you got little dishes and your brushes and your water and away you go. So it's nothing like that at all.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I know, but I mean, just saying, like with what you're talking about, the paint separating.
Yeah.
So it's going to actually form different textures on the canvases.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not going to be, and it'd probably be a surprise.
Yes.
Because no two paints or no two paint or finished products are going to be the same.
Right. And that's another thing. When you come into these paint nights, everybody thinks their painting is going to be exactly like the one that they're supposed to do. Not so, because everybody has different talents. And I've actually done paint nights where I've just been blown away at what some people actually come up with. And I think, wow, you know, I like that better than what we were being taught to do. Like, that's phenomenal. So it's really...
I think it's also in the eye too, because I mean, if you lay on the ground and you're looking up at clouds and seeing bunnies or whatever, everybody's going to see something different.
That's right.
So every painting is going to be in the eye of the painter.
Absolutely.
Why do you prefer acrylic paint? You seem to work with that a lot.
Well, my entire life I was an oil artist, and I still miss it. I love it, but it takes an awfully long time to dry.
Okay.
So for me to do an oil project, I would easily be working on it a week to a month. Acrylic, I can knock one off in an hour. So there's a big difference. It took me time to learn the acrylic. I was really frustrated at first because I couldn't blend the same because it would dry so fast.
Okay.
But then I learned techniques, you know, and now it's all I'll do.
There's extenders as well you can put in the paints. Is there not? The acrylic paints, an extender?
Yep.
I don't know why I know that, but for some reason it jumped into my head.
You can,
So you take your paints with you wherever you go?
I do,
You do?
Yeah.
What about in the winter time, even in the winter?
Oh, yeah.
So what do you do? You take pictures of things?
What I do is when I want to put a painting together, I'll take several pictures of different things that I want in the painting, just that I can get the perspective right, and then I make my own out of it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. I also noticed ruined art.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I caught that and I went, ruined art. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about ruined art.
Okay, well, that was one of my poor experiments.
The paints didn't separate it properly.
That went wrong, yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, I was so frustrated, and I thought, oh, what do I do with this? Do I just throw it out, or do I just wait for it to dry and then just paint over it and do something else? And all of a sudden, an idea came into my head that it sort of looked like a forest fire raging.
Wow.
So I wound up just doing the burnt ground in the trees, and it actually turned out really good. I've had a lot of people say, oh, I love that painting. And so that I always have to tell them the story that it wasn't supposed to be that way. But
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's beautiful. So really there's no such thing as a bad painting. You can actually turn it into something completely different. I noticed you are drawn to trees, stars, moon, universe.
Yeah.
You like a lot of night.
Yeah.
A lot of night stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any particular reason that you are, or is this it's just beautiful to you?
You know what? It's beautiful. It's easy. It's you know, it's just, I don't know exactly why I'm drawn. I'm a bit of a moon freak. I love the moon. So that could have something to do with the way it changes, and of course our moods are somehow associated with it, and yeah.
So it's somewhat spiritual to you. I was on your Facebook page the other day and I noticed you do stretch canvas photography. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually that's what I meant when I'll tell you in a minute, we'll lead into it. I started walking a couple of years ago along the lake, and that's where I live, and just noticing the beautiful, beautiful sunsets that are in Georgina. So I started taking pictures just on my phone. I don't have a camera. And, you know, the next thing I knew, it was like a form of art to me. So it's kind of ironic that I love painting the moon, but I love photographing the sun. So I started taking these pictures, putting them to stretch canvas, and I had a lot of interested people saying, oh, can you get me a picture of that? So I started incorporating that in my business of selling photography as well. Next thing I knew, I had a lot of people saying, can you do my picture on stretch canvas? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So a lot of my business has actually gone that way, where people submit their stuff to me to put on stretch canvas. And I do it very reasonably. I've actually priced out what it costs to get done, and it's, in my eyes, pretty outrageous. So, but I have some good connections, so I like to pass the savings on to the customer.
Well, that's excellent. And how do clients, they send it to you off of their phone, their photos? They just email them to you?
Just email them to me, yeah.
And then you have like varying sizes. Can you give me an idea what some of your sizes would be?
I can go anywhere from a little 8 by 8 inch right up to 30 by 40 inches.
That's huge. Yeah, that's huge. Now, they ask you to maybe sometimes have an artistic eye for the photo.
Yes.
And play with it a little bit for them.
Yes, and that's another thing that I do. I'll do editing for them. A lot of times I can put some scripture or a poem or whatever they want on the picture, and that's all included. I don't charge any extra for that. So.
And also sometimes the people do the fading look.
Yep, I can do that. I can do that. Yeah.
Or highlighting and grays and stuff like that as well.
And I always send it back to the customer before I actually go ahead and do it, just to get their approval that everything's cool, and we go ahead with it.
So if I was to put an order in, how long would it take?
Generally,
once I've said I like the picture.
Yeah, generally I like to get a few orders together, because I do have to pay for my shipping supply. I have to pay shipping for my supplies, which I don't want to charge out to you. So if I have a few orders together, from the time that I put it together, you're looking at like 5 days.
Well, that's excellent. Yeah, make Christmas presents.
Absolutely, yeah.
So how could we get a hold of you?
I have a Facebook page, WeiserArtworx with an X at the end. I also have a website. I'm on Instagram, WeiserArtworx, and I'm also a member of the Georgina Chamber of Commerce, so you can find me in there as well.
That's excellent. Actually, I went onto your Facebook page and I was looking around, and one of the paintings really caught my eye. I spent quite a bit of time on it, actually, called Starry Night.
Oh, yeah.
And it was funny because it just took me back to when I was younger. I'm not giving my age away, but it was like laying down on a spring morning, or early spring morning or when it's still dark out, and you're looking up through the trees, the naked trees, at the universe.
Yes.
And I could actually smell the dew in the grass, and I thought, wow, that is really, really stood out for me, and I recommend anybody going in and taking a look at that.
Yeah. And it's funny how you mentioned that it reminded you of the early morning. Well, it reminds me, it takes me back to my camping days when I was a kid. So I used to lie on the ground looking up at the stars, you know.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed this.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Okay. I would like to thank our listeners for bringing their ideas to light, sharing the development of their own personal creativity, and supporting a network of people and their personal empowerment. We can be reached at www.matthattiescommunity.com or on Facebook, Matt Hattie's Community. Thank you.